Hi everyone, this is Jen from Fiber Me This, and this is the Chowderfest mitt. The pattern is on Ravelry, but what I want to do is a demonstration of how to do the set-in thumb or the afterthought thumb that is part of this pattern, and it is written up in detail in the pattern. But I thought this video would be helpful for those of you who haven't done one before. So the thing that I absolutely love about this thumb is that the pattern continues. So you have this raised texture that continues up the thumb and then on this side as well. So let's get started. I did a little swatch here. This is just stockinette. Of course, you'll be knitting in pattern, but when you get to the row where it indicates to put in the thumb, you want to use a contrasting thread so that you can find it after the mitt is completed. And so how the mitt is constructed is you knit the ribbing, you knit in pattern up to the row where the thumb is placed, and then you're going to knit 6 stitches in a contrasting thread, and then you're going to continue on knitting the rest of the pattern and then the ribbing on the end, and then you're going to go back and pick up the stitches that you placed earlier. And so that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. So I am going to knit just a few stitches here, and I work this entire mitt and the thumb on circular needles. You can use DPNs if you like, whatever you're most comfortable with. But for the thumb placement, that row, you end up knitting a few stitches, and it's very specific. But then what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop your yellow yarn, in this case, my working yarn, and I'm gonna cut it, leaving about an 8-inch tail. And then I'm gonna pick up my blue yarn, and I am going to knit 6 stitches. And these are stitches that we will be taking out later so that we can pick up these stitches, if that makes sense. And so I'm just going to knit 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to drop that yarn and then pick up my yellow yarn again and just keep knitting. And then I'll show you a couple of tricks here when I get to the end of this row. I am a continental knitter, but this works the same way if you are a thrower. So I am going to pull this blue thread to the back, or this blue yarn to the back. And so there you can see your 6 stitches. And now what is helpful is I have all of these tails. What I'm going to do is tie the yellow to the blue from where I first changed color, and this will just help keep my stitches nice and snug for when I knit the next row. And later on you'll undo this so you can do your thumb placement, but it just helps keep those stitches tidy and easier to knit. And so that's all you will do when it asks you to do the thumb placement. From this point forward, you will just keep knitting as the pattern indicates. And so I'm going to go ahead and knit some more so that I can then come back and show you guys how to pick up the stitches and get set up for the thumb. Okay, so we're back now, and at this point you will have finished the whole body of your mitt and bound off at the top. And now we want to come in and remove these blue stitches to open up where the thumb hole is going to be. So I want to just do a close-up here. We have 6 stitches. Okay, now you're going to pick up 6 stitches below the blue stitches and 6 stitches above. And as you look below the blue stitches, you see these V's, and we're going to want to make sure that we pick up the right leg of each of those V's. We're going to then turn it upside down and pick up 6 stitches on this side as well. But the stitches look the stitches look the same, but you can see there's half a blue stitch there and half a blue stitch there. So when you turn it upside down, it looks just a little bit different. And you're going to pick up these 5 center stitches, and it does not matter if you pick up the 6th stitch on this side or this side, as long as you are picking up the right legs again. And so let me go ahead and show you. On the bottom side, we're going to pick up each of the right legs of the 6 bottom stitches. So we have all 6 stitches picked up there. And what I typically do is I pick up the right leg of the stitch that is directly down from the stitch I picked up here. So this half stitch, I skip that one. I'm going to start with this right leg right here, and then I am going to pick up these 5, and then this as my 6th stitch. So it looks just like that. Now we're going to remove the blue yarn, and then we're going to pick up 2 additional stitches on each side. So let's take that blue yarn out. And to do that, we need to undo our knots that we previously put in to help us keep things tight. And it also makes it a little bit easier if you cut these tails off of your blue yarn. Obviously yours may not be blue of your waste yarn there, and then it makes it really easy, or easier I should say, to take out this waste yarn. You can see our thumb hole opening up there. Okay. Now another tip at this point is I take these 2 tails and I am going to tie them together, just snugging up the stitches on either side. And this just really helps keep these stitches from becoming so large that they're hard to work with. So just like that. Want to keep these long tails because later on I'm going to use those to help stitch up any gaps that are on the side. And now you can see here you have several different choices of stitches to pick up here. And what I try to do is pick up, you have 1, 2, 3, well this was probably like 3. I try and just pick them up in the middle and try and stay away from the same row that I'm on. But really you can't mess this up. No matter what you pick up, you'll be able to close up any little hole later. So I'm going a row above and picking that one up on this side, and I'm going to do the same over here. Pick up that one. So now I have 8 stitches on the bottom with an extra stitch being on, well I have my original 6 and then an extra stitch on each end. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Pick up that stitch there and then pick up one on this end. Okay, so now we are all set up with 8 stitches on the bottom, 8 stitches on top, our original 6 stitches in the middle, and you are ready to start the thumb construction. There is a table at the end of the pattern that gives you row by row the pattern so that you will be continuing the textured pattern up both sides of the thumb. And just to show you again, that's what it looks like. Now at this point you have 16 stitches, and the pattern repeat is 6 stitches. So don't worry if the pattern doesn't wrap around the sides. You just want to focus on using that table, knitting the pattern straight up the front, straight down the back, and you do get this really lovely looking continuous pattern up the thumb. And then when you're all done, you want to take your tails on the inside and just snug up any little gaps that you may have. And then your mitts will be all done. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at fibermethis@gmail.com. Good luck.